Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, November 14th. We're on the European server. We've got, I think, one thing we can re-roll because the other two are 60. So Warrior, Warrior. We're hoping this overlaps with Warrior 2. Yes, it does. Great. So I can just try and win 3 Warrior games. Actually, I only have to win 1 Warrior game. And we're good. Wow, in one fell swoop, I can play Warrior. So let's come back here and save ourselves the time since we have to make a deck. I'm just gonna copy this Warrior deck here. And the Tavern Brawl, I didn't actually get to play the Tavern Brawl on the Americas account because somebody just conceded and I was like, well, good enough. I'll take that and move on. So this will save us time having to think about what kind of deck we need to play, and we can just play that. Meanwhile, we have a decent number of games that have come out on Steam that we need to cover. We also have a little bit of news to cover. So we've got this game called Case Simulator Weapons and Armor, which almost certainly is a very low effort loot box simulator game. I don't think anybody should indulge in a loot box simulator. I think that's probably bad for your mental health. And it's 99-cent expansion. Who knows what it's really going to be priced at. Like, this really is just asset flips by the cheapest basic effort. Rush. Let's see. So that one, of course, is not making it to the wish list. TechRaptor has an article: PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds landing on the PS4 for this holiday. That will be December 7th, 2018. I think this is almost certainly a too little too late situation. Like, I really doubt that we're gonna have a resurgence of players going back to PUBG just because it's on PlayStation 4. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds in particular just dropped the ball on how popular their game was going to be, and I think there's certainly an argument to be made that they couldn't have seen it coming. But once they did see it coming, they probably should have, the day later, invested in tried to get more investments and tried to recover their... Let's see, if I just end my turn here, then I get a second turn. So then I can do this, and I can do like 7 damage to the face. This is, each player is taking 2 turns in a row. We have a game on Steam called Hitman 2. It's rated very positively. There's a slight question about, do I really need to play Hitman 1 at this point, or could you just skip to Hitman 2, because most of the elements of Hitman 1 have also been ported to Hitman 2. I wouldn't be surprised if IO Interactive was having to give some percentage of sales to Square Enix for Hitman 1, and thus, now that they're an independent company, they are getting a better cut, although some of it still probably is going to the publisher of Warner Brothers. So yeah, if you're just trying to support IO Interactive and play Hitman 2, it makes a lot of sense why they would have gone to Hitman 2 after what seems like exactly 1 year. I doubt a year from now we'll have Hitman 3, but maybe. I have heard that if you kind of just mainline all of the basic missions and don't take your time and don't play it over and over again, it only takes about 5 hours to play Hitman 2, which could be an issue, might not be. Okay. Let's play this.
Job's done.
And then end the turn. And what are we gonna do? Charge Divine Shield.
True north, Red.
Smart moves.
There you go. So, doesn't seem like people are really liking the concept of having to wait for a player to play two turns. It takes too long, apparently. I would get that. I would totally get that as an idea. So it just takes way too long to have somebody potentially sit there and not do anything and just let the rope burn down, and then their next turn just let the rope burn down again. Could be a really long time. Or even if somebody's actually slightly playing like me but is being a little bit distracted, you're still waiting a lot longer. It's probably a good experiment for Activision Blizzard to say, hey, maybe we should just speed up the game in total and remove like 5 seconds between each turn. They could probably get away with that because, like, as you can see, I find plenty of time to get distracted and go look at something else or read a news article. I want to see what's missing on the European account on the classic cards. So this classic. So we're at 2355 dust, and we still have quite a lot of cards still missing. Quite a lot, in fact. So when this next expansion happens, it really is going to be difficult to say, hey, let's buy this next expansion. It's the same as Boomsday. It's still really need to try to move towards a closer to 100% collection of the classic cards. I imagine by the time the expansion after the next expansion happens, though, we might be in a position where we can almost guarantee spending 50 packs every expansion alone on we can get 65 packs right now, so I imagine it would break down to about 30 classic packs and about 30 of the new packs. In case I didn't say it, Hitman 2 totally is going on the wish list still. And some of these games honestly don't even really need to be on the follow list. They could be on the wish list immediately if they're a AAA game and I know I probably want to play it. I want to play Hitman 2. Even if I found it slightly annoying after 30 minutes, I'd still be very interested in supporting a newly independent AAA developer so that more of those exist and can continue to exist, and we see less acquisitions happen, because I think the acquisitions are really where this is just going to fall apart totally in a couple of years. Next we have a game on Steam called Distraint 2. I believe this is already on my follow list. It's an adventure game, kind of like a point-and-click adventure, although a lot of games now are just not calling themselves point-and-click adventures, or they don't have a mouse on screen, so they're not really labeling themselves as point-and-click adventures. I'm fairly certain Distraint 1 is already on the wish list, so this is just a continuation of that series, and that makes sense. It's a psychological horror game. It doesn't look particularly pretty. It's $8.09, so I probably wouldn't buy this at that price either. I'd want to get it closer to $3 at max. Next we have Kama Sutra Connect Sexy Hentai Girls. This is a match match cards game, kind of like Coda Mahjong was. So as you make matches, a line goes down the vertical of a anime girl and it turns from a silhouette to an actual picture. Looks like most of the pictures that are being shown are just people in outfits, like one is a nurse, one's in a bikini. It doesn't seem like it's too extreme, and the match 2 cards are just blue and pink characters where you are just in different Kama Sutra sex positions, or I'm not even sure they actually are Kama Sutra sex positions. So while this game is trying to sell itself as hyper explicit, it really isn't. This is something that is almost certainly going to lead you towards disappointment if you were to purchase it. And it's 99 cents. And it doesn't seem like anything's being shown here, so probably could just do a little web peek here and show it off. It's just match 2 cards and then the line goes down and it shows the girls, and that's all it is. Just another very low effort game, with unfortunately the fact that very low effort games these days are looking at least slightly polished, so it's hard for people to realize that they're troll games or low effort games.
Onward, friends!
Gematsu has an article. The Game Awards 2018 nominees have been announced. So the Game Awards, which I think they were called the Video Game Awards before, are an attempt certainly to be kind of like the Oscars or the Emmys of video games. Not sure if they really have that much credibility. Honestly, it's mostly video game journalists and mainstream video game journalists voting in these games into the awards, or it's people who actually make the games themselves. And since they all those people tend to have the same thought patterns and fall into groupthink, you're not going to get really surprised here. So, Game of the Year, the nominations are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I can almost with 100% certainty guarantee that Monster Hunter World is not going to win probably anything. I can almost with 100% certainty guarantee that none of the Japanese video games will get any kind of award at all. That's pretty much how I recall it happened last year. Next, they have Best Ongoing Game, and that is Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I guess I'll give my pick also of who's going to win. While Celeste would be what they would want to give Game of the Year to, the truth is it's going to come down to God of War and Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2. So Red Dead Redemption 2 will win just because it's on people's minds more. Almost certainly that's how it's going to go down. Should I attack? No. As for who's going to win Best Ongoing Game between Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, I think Fortnite wins, although Overwatch might potentially catch some more people's attention. And honestly, Destiny 2 Forsaken would have a slight chance if it weren't for the fact that Forsaken kind of sucked. Because I imagine mainstream video game journalists have been playing Destiny 2 more than they've been playing Fortnite or Overwatch. Let's see.
Mushroom power!
And let's hit this. And this. And do that. And that. Next they have Best Game Direction. The options are A Way Out. That's not going to win. Detroit Become Human. That's definitely not going to win. Just for political reasons. God of War. That might win. Spider-Man. That might win. Or Red Dead Redemption 2. So this would come down to directing. So I think that would knock Spider-Man out. It's going to be between God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a good chance it's Red Dead Redemption 2, but I would personally say that God of War probably deserves it. And they will, I think, at least slightly want to throw a bone towards God of War in some category. So Best Directing might be it. Then it's Best Narrative, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2 Episode 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do Life is Strange 2, but it probably isn't going to work. Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 will walk away with that one again. Although, again, God of War. It's going to be a lot of God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. And I think a lot of times it will be Red Dead Redemption 2 that wins out just because it is the more well-known
Access denied.
one. Or the more recent one.
Light the fuses!
That didn't work out well at all. Then they have Best Art Direction, which is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler. I don't think Octopath Traveler should win for Best Art Direction, just because it's doing a slightly different art style. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Return of Obra Dinn. And see, it would be interesting, certainly, to see Return of Obra Dinn win that. That's also not going to work. So then it comes down to Red Dead Redemption and God of War again. I think in this instance, there is a pretty good chance that Red Dead Redemption won't win, and it will actually be God of War for Best Art Direction. And then they have Best Score and Music, and the people nominees are Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, Octopath Traveler, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not sure who will win on this one because I haven't really heard all the music in the game. So I would probably say maybe they can find excuses to do Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe there's some music in Octopath Traveler that might win it, or Ni no Kuni that might win it, but almost certainly not. I would put Octopath Traveler as a squarely Japanese game, and it's probably going to get snubbed between that. I don't know if there's really any good music in Spider-Man or God of War or Celeste, so like, I'm totally lost on that one. By the way, this Best Score Music is presented by Spotify, where none of the other presentations are presented by anybody. But then the Best Audio Design next category is presented by Dolby. So they're heavily selling out here. Let's hit that. Best Audio Design comes to Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, audio design It might come down to Call of Duty or Forza Horizon 4 in that one. They might throw Spider-Man a bone because it feels like Spider-Man is going to be the overlooked one of the three between Spider-Man, God of War, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they give Spider-Man some audio award just to give him something. Next we have Best Performance, which is actors. So Brian Descartes as Connor from Detroit Become Humans. Christopher Judge as Kratos in God of War. He's gonna win almost certainly. Masanthi Mahout as Cassandra in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Maybe they would give it to her. Yeah, I could see that.
I'm fast and furious!
Let's see.
Mushroom power! In your face!
There's also Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, and Yori Lothal as Peter Parker in Marvel Spider-Man. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually falls right back down to Spider-Man, but maybe Red Dead Redemption 2. A lot of the best performance really is just going to fall in the case of which is the most popular game more than anything else, I would guess. It's interesting, it's best performance. They didn't split it between best male or female voice acting performance or performance via mocap. Let's see. So yeah, you could easily break apart best performance into 2 or 3 or even 4 different subcategories and give more awards, but the Game Awards never seem like they really want to give awards to too many people. There's no small-time indie games getting even mentioned here, Celeste being maybe the exception to that rule. Next we have Games for Impact Award, which, okay, so their nominees for that are 1111 Memories Retold, Celeste, Florence, Life is Strange Episode 1, and the missing JJ Macfield in the Memories. And almost certainly Life is Strange 2 will win here unless they like Celeste a little bit more. I don't think any of the other games even stand a chance.
Be thirsty.
Let's see. Next they have the best independent game, and under that category the nominees are Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger. I wouldn't be surprised if The Messenger is a surprise hit there because it's not apparently in any other categories. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this goes to Dead Cells or Celeste. I think Return of Obra Dinn is going to get overlooked, and Into the Breach is going to get overlooked. Next they have Best Mobile Game, and in that they have Donut County, which would be my guess to win at first, but then they also have Florence and Fortnite and PUBG, Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and Reigns Game of Thrones. So that puts you in a weird position where a lot of these games could win, but I imagine Fortnite would have to win on that. Next category is Best VR AR Game, and then they have a game called Astrobot Rescue Mission. This is potentially maybe the only Japanese game that has a good chance of winning anything at the awards, because I think that probably is the one VR AR game people are really liking. That being said, it is against Beat Saber, which might win out more by popularity, but Firewall, Zero Hour, Mass, and the Tetris Effect. Well, the Tetris Effect would be the most recent one. I'm not sure if it really sells itself as particularly needing or wanting to be played in VR. Next they have the best action game, which is Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Dead Cells, Destiny 2, Far Cry 5, and Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 and Far Cry 5 won't win it, Destiny 2 won't win it, so it comes down to Black Ops 3 or Dead Cells, and I think Black Ops 3 has a good chance to win it. They won't give it to Far Cry because they're upset at Far Cry for not being more against all the middle of America who they think all voted for Trump. Let's see, I don't want to get into that tangent too much, but that'll be the reason, whether they admit it or not. Best action adventure game, then shouldn't you not have overlap like that? Why not just call it best adventure game? Let's see. The nominees for best action adventure game are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Shadow of the Tomb Raider won't win it, it'll be Red Dead Redemption 2. Almost certainly. Best role-playing game is Dragon Quest 11, which should probably win it, but very likely won't. The other options are Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni, Octopath Traveler, and Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. The shocker would be when this is given to Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, just to snub the fact that the other 4 games on here are Japanese games. If that goes down, that will be a major snub, but that's pretty much how it always is. Or has been, at least as for the few years I've been watching this. Next is the best fighting game. The options are Blaze Blue, Cross Tag Battle, that won't win. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, maybe that would win. Soul Calibur 6, that probably will win. Or Street Fighter 5 Arcade, I don't think that'll win. I think they'll go with Soul Calibur 6. And in this case, all 4 of the options are technically Japanese games, so they have to pick one.
I'm fast and furious.
Let's see.
In your face.
Next, they have a category Best Family Game: Mario Tennis Aces, Mario Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink for Battle for Atlas, and Super Mario Party. I think they probably won't give it to a Nintendo one because I don't think Nintendo would bother to show up to accept the award, and I think they kind of know that, so that if you take that assumption, which is a pretty big assumption to be fair, and you apply it though, then that leaves you between Overcooked 2 and Starlink. If I'm assuming that is accurate, I think Starlink might have a chance to win. Either that, or they just give it to Mario Party and Nintendo doesn't show up to accept the award. Next, they have Best Strategy Game, and in that field they have the Banner Saga 3. I don't think so because it's just a trilogy that's meh at best. Battletech, Frostpunk, Into the Breach, and Valkyrie Chronicles 4. I think Valkyrie Chronicles 4 probably deserves to win it, but in all honesty, I think maybe they would give it to Frostpunk or Banner Saga 3. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Banner Saga 3 might actually
not a valid target.
we need to
In your face!
eliminate things. So yeah. Next they have the category Best Sports Racing Game, FIFA 19, that won't win. Forza Horizon 4, maybe. Mario Tennis Aces, maybe. NBA 2K, I kind of would hope it wouldn't win. And then Pro Evolution Soccer. The problem here is half of these sports games are just like horrible sports games full of microtransactions. And so I think they would probably try to avoid that to a certain amount. And I think that's eventually gonna lead them down to either giving it to Forza, which would be my guess, or giving it to Mario Tennis. And since Mario Tennis Aces is a Nintendo game, I would say Forza. Next, they have Best Multiplayer Game. How many of these are there? Man, looks like there's quite a lot. The options are Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, Sea of Thieves. That almost certainly goes to Fortnite again. They have a game called a category called Best Student Game, which, let's see, how are we on this? Wow, we're already done on the European account. Let's move over to the Asian account. We may have to come back and just play some ranked play. So as the Asian account is loading, the games for Best Student Games are one called Combat 2018 from the Inland Norway University of Applied Science, Dash Quasar from UC Santa Cruz, Jira, J-E-R-A, from Digipin Bilboa, Spain. Wow, I didn't know Digipin made a second facility outside of Redmond. There's a game called LIFF, L-I-F-F, from iStart Digital France. And let's see, we need to win something with a Druid or Hunter. Let's just play some Hunter. I'm gonna come over here and see what my Hunter deck is. It's a Spell Hunter deck. That's what I figured. Figures like I'm playing just Spell Hunter and nothing but Spell Hunter on all three accounts. Alright, create deck. Use that. And then there's a final game called Charge from MIT. Now I don't know any of these student games, so I could only, at the very basic, guess that MIT is gonna win just because of nationalism, national pride. Like, since most of the people that will be voting on this will be from the United States or North America, things out of Spain, France, Santa Cruz, Norway, like, those games probably will get less votes. And I don't think the Game Awards is a popular vote at all. So, like, I don't think the general public votes for any of these games. It didn't seem like we voted for the nominees, but maybe there was a voting process and then the nominees got narrowed down from that voting process. Let's see.
I don't have enough mana. Job done.
Next category is Best Debut Game, and that's between Donut County, Florence, Moss, The Messenger, and Yoku's Island Express. I think Donut County will win that one. I play this and this, then I can do this. The next category is Best Esports Game. That's Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Overwatch. I think Overwatch should win that one for an esports. I don't think Fortnite has become a great esports game yet. Certainly a lot of fans of Dota and League of Legends and Counter-Strike Go might vote, but I think Overwatch probably wins. Then the next category is Best Esports Player, presented by Omen by HP. And the choices are, this one's a dangerous one because in between the nomination and when this happens, any of these esports players could say something offensive and be shunned. But the options are Dominique Sonic Fox McLean from Echo Fox, Hajime Tokaido Taniguchi, Jian Uzi Zihao from Royal Never Give Up, Alexander Simple Kostyov from Nodus Vincier, and Sunghyun Jojonak Bong from New York Excelsior. So if you're in the esports, you might know who any of those people are. Personally, I really don't.
I hunt alone.
Lapdogs, all of you.
Let's see. In the turn. And summon this.
My side.
Do this. Do this. Attack. Attack. I don't know how I got this card.
I hunt alone.
Job's done.
The next category is the Best Esports Team, and the options are Astralis from Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Cloud9 from League of Legends, Frantic from League of Legends, London Spitfire from Overwatch League, and OG from Dota 2. I could see how Cloud9 would win just from name recognition, although I could also see like London Spitfire winning just because people like Overwatch. Okay, so we hit this. And then we do this. And then how are we gonna take care of this? I guess we have to do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Turn. And then it's just my turn again.
Hail, friend.
This. Misdirection. Play these cards. Do as much damage as possible in the way. The next category is Best Esports Coach. This is, the options are Bach reappeared, Hangyu from Cloud9, Christian Papasaral Benasanu from OG. I'm probably mispronouncing all these names. Danny Zonic Sorensen from Australis, Dylan Falco from Fnatic, Jacob Yamato Cannon Mebdi from Team Vitality, and Yanko YNK Paunovic from MIBR. Like, I don't think I got to play but one of the Tavern Brawls all the way to the end. It seems like 2 out of 3 of them, people just got upset with me taking too long and conceded. But in all fairness, I don't think those Tavern Brawls were very good. Let's see. And so we got some more cards that we can turn all into dust. And that leaves us, we're in a really weird position now. We need to win 2 more Hunter games. So we're just going to play Ranked Hunter. We're at rank 21, make up to rank 20. The next category is Best Esports Event, and the options are E-League Major Boston 2018, EVO 2018, League of Legends World Championship, Overwatch League Grand Finales, and the International 2018. Man, it seems like half of these awards are esports awards. Best Esports Host, Alex Golden Boy Mendez, Alex Machine Richardson. I want to get rid of these two. Anders Bloom, Elf G Shore Sporks, Deporte.
My greetings.
I probably mispronounced that really badly.
Greetings, traveler.
And Paul Redeye Schallner. And then the next one is Best Esports Moment. Like C9 comeback win in the triple OT with versus FaZe at the E-League Major in Boston 2018. Can I play anything this turn, or should I just end it? Just gonna end the turn. The next option is G2 beating RNG in League of Legends World Championships. The third option is KT versus IG Base Race at the League of Legends World Championship. Fourth option is OG's massive upset at LGD at the Dota 2 finals. And if you don't understand half of these, you're not alone. Destroying enemy minion. So I'm not sure I'm ready to do anything. And then the final one was Sonic Fox side switch against Go 1 in Dragon Ball Fighter Z at EVO 2018. Okay. The next category is Content Creator of the Year. And the options are Dr. Lupo, somebody I've never heard of. Myth, somebody I've never heard of. Ninja, somebody I have heard of, so I would clearly give the victory to him. Let's see, how do we want to play this? Coin, deal 3 damage, and summon a 3/1 wolf. I think that might be right. There's a character called, a content creator called Pokimane I haven't heard of, and a content creator called Willy Rex. Odd that Rydo is not listed here, but no joke there. Like, total joke there, actually.
Where my trees at?
Yeah, Ninja's gonna win just for name recognition, almost certainly on that one. Although most of those esport ones, I have no freaking clue. Like, not even the beginning of a clue as far as who or what would win as far as those awards. Next category and final category, thank goodness, is the favorite moment of 2017, and one would be Carol Shaw Industry Icon. The other option is the Game Awards Orchestra Performance. The Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro moment, and the Joseph Fares A Way Out moment. These are all things that happened in the Game Awards 2017. I believe Joseph Fares from A Way Out was totally drunk, so he probably runs the risk of actually winning it. Favorite moment, just out of troll people voting for that.
I hunt alone.
And then the final moment is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Game of the Year award. Like, it'd be nice if the Game Awards Orchestra was given an award, but I bet not. It's probably going to Kojima. I don't even know what Carol Shaw did. This award in particular, your favorite moment from 2017, requires you to have watched the Game Awards last year and remembered what happened and cared what happened, which is definitely asking quite a lot. Could kill this. Or I could just do 4 damage. And so that is the nominees for the Game Awards. Now it was way too long. Moving on, thank goodness. The TechRaptor has an article. The amusement tax will hit PlayStation users in Chicago starting tomorrow. I don't think I've talked about this amusement tax. It's a 9% quote-unquote amusement tax for people in Chicago. It's aimed at people that have streaming music and movie stuff. It's really dumb. The reason why it's affecting PlayStation is because you can watch Netflix and other services like that, Spotify, things like that on the PlayStation Plus. So yeah, this is not a kind of tax that we want to see grow as an idea. Let's see. It's also called the cloud tax on streaming services like Netflix and Spotify. It's facing several lawsuits, but Sony is already going to start collecting the money and just taking it. No, probably it. Apparently there was a 1998 Internet Tax Freedom Act which prohibits states, counties, and municipalities from imposing discriminatory taxes on electronic commerce. Like, you're really not gonna help Netflix or any cloud services by putting a tax on it, and I don't think Chicago is going to spend the money wisely there that they get. It's probably going directly in some politician's pocket or re-election campaign. There we go. Take that victory and move on. But also it really is only affecting Chicago, so it's hardly affecting all of the United States, so it's kind of a small story. Up to rank 20, let's see if we can get up higher. I believe I need at least one more victory. See, I'm gonna try and burn through all this news, but I don't think I have enough gameplay to do. Somehow I finished Hearthstone's daily quest pretty easily in less than 2 hours.
I will fight with honor.
And see, that's starting to feel like a slight pattern. I guess that's fine because I could always just play more ranked. But I'm gonna have to learn to balance it more. Let's see, TechRaptor has a review of the game Lust for Darkness. I think the other people had already reviewed it and they really didn't like it. But the general... They didn't like the fact that it was an adult game in the first place, so they weren't going to give it a chance. Let's see. This time they're not giving it a score. The final paragraph says, ultimately, however, Lust for Darkness is a dark and unsettling experience that wears its influences proudly and respects them well enough. It's hardly amazing, but there's a solid sense of atmosphere and effective score. The mystery that the game sets up is engaging enough to propel you through the narrative. Furthermore, there's some interesting visuals to keep things disturbing and interesting. If you like a quick horror thrill ride, Lust for Darkness is worth checking out. So it's almost, I think, this is almost like somebody else rewrote a review just to fix the
reporting for duty.
Fix the fact of the fact that their first review wasn't, I think, fair. Because I really don't think their first review, TechRaptor's first review in particular, was very fair for the game. And interesting, they now have this upvote button, funny button, love button, surprise button, angry button, sad button. So instead of leaving a comment, their comment sections now just let you to kind of upvote and say, this is funny, I love it, I'm surprised by it, I'm angry by it, I'm sad by it. And it's little emojis. Which is funny because certainly a lot of the other developers of social media services are getting rid of like buttons and dislike buttons and upvotes and dislike things. Again, for comparison, right now Lust for Darkness is 75% positive of 810 reviews, I think. I will say that it's more mixed in the last 30 days, so maybe there's still some bugs that need to be fixed. This is, their last update was July 12th, a key binding patch. Let's see. Whereas Metacritic gave Lust for Darkness, the Metacritic score for Lust for Darkness is a 50. So it's not just TechRaptor, it's all mainstream video game media. They don't like adult games. They just don't. They'd prefer to pretend they don't exist, they don't cover them, and they act surprised when there's one that is actually popular and good. Which has never really been the case. Old PC games have always been had a percentage that were adult games, such as Leisure Suit Larry and Strip Blackjack, Strip Poker, things like that. It's always been a major factor.
Don't mess with
And I could certainly go into a bigger rant about how some people want to infantilize, to mispronounce that word, all of society and turn everybody into these puritanical infants. Moving on, TechRaptor has a article about a game called Colina Legacy, Unravel Lovecraftian Mysteries in Colina Legacy. I'm trying to particularly avoid covering or talking about TechRaptor coverage unless they're talking about an actual news story instead of covering a game. So, like, if I see their articles, yeah, I don't want to really give them the time of day because of that. So, that being said, Colina Legacy is rated positive with like 47 reviews. So I'll put it on the follow list, but I'm just really skimmed through the article itself. Let's see, I guess we could do a slight web peek. We haven't done a web peek in a while on Colina Legacy. Psychological horror. Looks like it's probably a AA game, but it looks like it's pretty good. Let's see. Discover a secret and play a secret and attack, play. Gamma Sutra has an article. Xbox chief Phil Spencer is taking on a quote bigger role in fixing the Microsoft Store. So the Microsoft Store, the Windows 10 Store, is hopefully going to be improved. Although I guess I really don't care for it to be improved personally. I kind of wish it would just go away, but I sort of also understand the idea that they're going for. I just don't think it's ever gonna really happen. Like, the idea is that to convince some IT departments of businesses to only allow Microsoft Store applications to be installed, and get everybody to put everything in the Microsoft Store instead of just installing it directly. And you probably have to pay some kind of 30% royalty to have your game sold or on the Microsoft Store. So there's kind of a unlikely chance that this would ever happen. And it's not like the Microsoft Store really feels any safer. It's trying to turn Windows 10 PCs into cell phones which have their own storefronts, and that's just not really gonna happen. Like, I kind of wish Phil Spencer would spend his time on something better, honestly. Moving on, Gematsu has an article. Dragoon, that's D-R-A-U-G-N, launches in 2019 for PC and later for the PS4 and Xbox One. I'm not sure. This is from the developer of Dreamfall Chapters. Let's see if there's a trailer to see what this looks like. I'm seeing a very well animated, like hyper realistic street urchin type girl, it looks like, if I was to guess, from like the Industrial Revolution in the UK. It's just zoomed in on her face, and then she turned around and walked away, and now I'm just seeing mountainsides, some very pretty mountainsides. This looks a lot like just a demo of your artistic ability, and it's not really giving any information. This is labeled a teaser trailer though, so I guess what's to really be expected there. I'm seeing some gloves hanging off a table, and actually animating that is kind of amazing. Like, that's a level of detail for something that isn't done a lot. Alright.
The eternal hunt has begun.
Alright, so now we're back to, I think, that character dancing around in her room. I guess she isn't actually a street urchin. Let's see. I could kill this one without taking damage.
Job's done.
Yep. So it says it's fully voiced with English and motion captured character. It looks pretty interesting. So here's what it looks like on Steam, and I guess I'll put it on the follow list. I'm not really sure what it is though. It looks like it's probably just a simplistic adventure game. It probably isn't going to be that long. And he Leroy Jenkins me while I was doing that. Oh well. I guess that gives me, the fact that this is going on the wishlist, Dragoon, gives me more reason to potentially play the Dreamfall series of games. I really should make that a very high priority. Next we have a complete troll game. I don't think that there's really too much reason to highlight troll games, but it's called Red Dead into Horse. It's total troll It looks a little bit more polished than you would think, but it's still just total garbage. Let's see, what do we want to trade? All three? Maybe hold on to that. Next we have a game on Steam called Golf Peaks, which looks like it's a bit of a puzzle game more than a golfing game. Possibly a non-Euclidean style puzzle. Let's see if I can watch some gameplay footage and see how this works. It clearly is a cell phone game because you are just swiping. You're swiping in the direction that the balls should go. I'm trying to look here at the gameplay, and I'm not certain that this really deserves consideration. Like, but I guess I can be generous and put Golf Peaks on the follow list, and then we'll just see what happens there. It says at the end it is a cell phone game. So yeah, I'll put it on the follow list. We'll see if anybody reviews it and says it's good. It doesn't particularly look that good. I should be more critical. Let's go ahead and do this. Next we have a game called Sipho, S-I-P-H-O. Looks like it's kind of a simplistic game where you eat your opponents and fight each other. I assume you get bigger and bigger, and you can take on more and more. Honestly, this just looks too simplistic. Early access for $14 or thereabout. That's kind of ridiculous. This looks like a 2D version of some of those games where you just build your own ship and make your own fun by building your own
I hunt alone.
Building your own vehicles. I don't think that needs to be on the list. Next we have a game on Steam called Who Must Die. It's suffering from some dark screenshot syndrome. I think, though, I've heard about this game a little bit, so I want to see how it goes. You're replacing a doctor charged to find out who among the 3 patients is the one that is contaminated. Interesting. So you're like spying on them and watching them. It's probably like a scientific experiment against you. I bet none of them are contaminated. Looks like it's full motion video, but it's not even tagged with that. Looks like the acting's not amazingly great. Okay.
Wow. Hunt alone.
This.
Quickly.
So I should have done that actually. And then should have done that. There we go.
Out of my jungle.
TechRaptor has an article. Black Ops 4 QA tester speaks out against poor conditions after being fired. So, I mean, at that point, you kind of have to independently confirm anything he says because he could be totally lying. But on the other hand, it's not super surprising to hear that a QA tester would be in poor working conditions at a video game position. Let's see. Let's go ahead and play this. Let's see. The user claimed to have worked in the Easter egg QA department for Black Ops 4 Zombies. For those who aren't familiar with the Call of Duty Zombies, Easter eggs have developed into a major thing over the years. Fans will pour over the modes, maps, searching for Easter eggs, and developers usually deliver. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and attack here and play this.
Job's
And then
done.
in turn. They claim to have been a valued member of the team, having worked there for 2 years and ranked up the most issues reported, and being the only employee who plays the game outside of work. That probably is a mistake right there. User says that the security was called on them when they refused to leave without their personal belongings. There have been issues before. The QA lead treats us like absolute garbage. One even started yelling at me when they saw me playing multiplayer instead of zombies. The QA lead didn't realize that I was cross-verifying an issue, which was very common as far as direct from production. In another incident, an ex-employee explained that they tried to download the game that a few others were playing. They were threatened to be fired if they downloaded it. So far it sounds like basic standard BS that you have to deal with in jobs when it's a bad job.
I hunt alone.
Let's see. The final paragraph of this article says, this isn't the first time QA team has been under scrutiny for poor working conditions. The discussions leading up to the release of Red Dead Redemption 2 have revealed that Rockstar Lincoln to be an unplace to work for QA testers, where overtime was mandatory and not optional. So inherently, the thing here to take from this is, don't ever agree to work QA. Ever. Anybody. I mean, it really is not a good job for anybody. It's not going to be your break-in into the video game world, because the people that get hired for QA don't have the degrees that are needed to be in video game development, and frankly, once you've worked in QA, that's all they're ever going to let you be, is working in QA. It's the equivalent of taking like a janitor job at a stadium and thinking that someday you'll be a football coach or a football player. It's just not going to happen. Let's see.
I hunt alone.
Can I play one more secret? I think that should be enough. Like, even if you have like no intention of working in the video game industry and somehow you were offered a job as a QA tester, don't take it. It's not a good job. It really isn't. Much like there's been a lot of talk about a union needing to exist, like there totally needs to be a union that includes the QA testers and guarantees them employment, guarantees them a limited number of hours, guarantees them better treatment. And until that happens, everybody needs to effectively be on strike as far as taking QA testing jobs. It should be impossible for anybody to hire at the conditions that they're offering. They should have to offer much better hours, much better pay, much better treatment. I don't know if I'm in 100% agreement with trying to get your stuff and having security called on you. You probably should do that though, because I certainly have been in positions where people have gone through my stuff and basically stolen things from me as they were kicking me out of the door. Particularly claiming that, like, evidence that could be used against them, evidence that you are a good employee, performance papers, things like that, that claiming that those are corporate secrets and they belong to the company. Just total BS. So you probably should let me get my stuff and I'll be out there. If they call security, you know what, then it comes down to, do you think the security really is going to manhandle you and cause a potential lawsuit, or call the police for real? Because yeah, most of those rent-a-cops are not really in the position where they want to or can actually manhandle you for no reason. And so they very well may call the police for real, and then the police, if they have to show up, won't be happy about it, and they probably won't show up at all. So yeah, I think you should try and get your stuff. But I also don't think you exacerbate that to the point of a fight. But then also, when you're getting fired, don't let lies or fantasies fall into your head and think that you're getting that job back. If you're being fired, they've been thinking about firing you for weeks and weeks. They've laid the paperwork down. They've made lies. They've said you're a poor employee. They've been establishing that for a very long time. So once a boss gets that idea in their head, they will spend months. That's pretty much all bosses do, is they spend their time thinking of ways to make paper trails to fire people.
Reporting for duty.
That's what mostly bad bosses do, at least. Moving on, I don't want to get into too much of a rant there. Just in general, don't take QA jobs. Like, it's a bad move. It's not a good one for your career. It's not worth your time. You'd be better flipping burgers at McDonald's. You'd be better working at Walmart. GameIndustry.biz has an article. The UK government responds to the industry's Brexit fears. Quote, the video game sector plays an important part in the UK's creative industries, and we are listening to concerns. That is political speak for, we've got bigger things on our plate and we're not really listening to your concerns. Like, as far as the UK government is concerned, they've painted themselves into the corner. They have to do something about they have to do something that looks something like Brexit, even though they don't really want to. And they would much prefer to stay in the European Union. But if they do that, then everybody who voted for Brexit is super upset, and so now they've got to do something wrong. This is, personally, if I can get into a little bit of politics, a failure of the United States to not embrace the UK the day after they voted to leave and cause Brexit, because we could have said, okay, come over here, we're going to give you much better deals, we're going to strengthen our relationship amazingly well, and we'll become a even stronger NATO type organization. And meanwhile, the European Union can have their army that they're calling for, and which was the main fear and the main reason that I heard, at least the best reason that I heard, that people were voting for Brexit, is they did not want the European Union to have a standing army that would be amassed from UK citizens going out and doing actions that the UK was not really voting or controlling. It's just basic government sovereignty that they wanted to keep, and European Union members seem to be more willing to give up for one reason or another. But as far as how it affects the video game industry, the UK has bigger issues that it could be addressing right now to affect it, that are affecting the video game industry. Their censorship policies, their anti-porn bills, their copyright laws. There's certainly a lot of issues there. If the UK does manage to get out of the European Union, they won't have to follow like Article 13 copyright laws, but they'll still probably get forced into following a ton of other bad copyright laws. So yeah, most definitely would not be making or continuing to have a video game company in the UK right now. One second, I'm gonna drink some water.
Rexar versus Rexar!
Let the hunt begin. Bring it on!
Am I able to get more victories here, or am I just meandering with the warrior? I don't know. Next we have a game on Steam called Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2019. I think I could probably say that I'm not going to play a fantasy league simulator style game in the next couple of years. So for that reason, I think I can not put this on the list. This looks alright, but not great. Looks just like a lot of text and a lot of garbage.
Quickly.
Let's see. Take that in the turn. So yeah, that's not going on there. Let's see. Gamatsu has an article, Battle Princess Madeline. I think I mentioned that earlier in the stream. Launches December 6th on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And 2019 for the PS Vita and the Wii U. Which I suspect means no, it's not coming to the PS4 Vita and the Wii U. This is the Ghosts and Goblins clone that is being made by the developer who said his daughter wanted this game, but also secretly was a video game developer already, so he's just kind of using his daughter as an excuse. This is, like I said, a game that's not going to ever be able to stand on its own quality, which is kind of a shame because it probably is. It looks kind of good, but it is always going to have that asterisk on it that somebody used identity politics and cheating to sell this game instead of saying, hey, this is a game that just deserves to be played because it's a Ghosts and Goblins clone, and oh, by the way, incidentally, I decided to make it a female protagonist. And I bet that bleeds into the story at some point where it is just rah-rah feminism in the story. That being said, I don't want to prejudge it too much, more than I kind of have to because of the actions of the developer. So I will certainly be willing to give it a try, or put it on the follow list at least until somebody reports back, or enough people report back in reviews that it's actually not that good, that the gameplay is janky or something like that, which it very possibly is. We won't know until it comes out. Next there's a game called Glasteroids, which looks like a very low effort vector based style game. Yeah, I don't really see anything here. It's like an Asteroids clone in 3D early access. $7.99 discounted. No thank you. That's not making it. Okay, so we can do this. And then we can do this. Making in the turn. I want to try and burn through a lot of these games. We have a game called Cosa Nostra. This might be a game, or this might be just an asset flip. It says it has nudity in it too. This might be an asset flip first-person shooter game. Probably is, but I'm gonna be a little generous and leave it. Although this might also be like a troll political game, like making some kind of troll political comment. So yeah, I'll put this on the fall list and see what the reviews say, or wait a year and see that it has no reviews because people have better sense than I do. Do not buy games like this. Looks definitely bloody, but that's not going to scare me away. Next we have a game we can immediately remove from contention, Puzzles for Smart Horses, for $1.39 discounted. Just a super simplistic puzzle game with horses this time. Let's see. 2 damage. And I want to kind of wait.
I hunt alone.
Interesting. I didn't realize this weapon could work against the explosive trap.
Job's done.
Next we have a game on Steam called Kubel, which looks kind of like a... Is this just a upside down Tetris game of sorts? Not 100% sure how this plays. Yeah, I guess you're just breaking things that are matching the same color, so that puts it like a Bubble Bobble clone, just with way worse graphics. I don't think that needs to be on the wish list. Close that. Next we have The Room 3. I've played The Room 1 and The Room 2, so I don't see any reason why I wouldn't want to at least consider playing The Room 3. Hopefully the graphics get a little bit more varied and a little bit more polished, because it's been a while. It definitely has been a while since Room 1 came out, and it really was a cell phone game. I'm not sure if this really is still, if The Room 3 is actually getting released on cell phones at all, or if it's made a transition to specifically only consoles or on Steam. What do I need? I'll take this.
Thanks. I hunt alone.
Job's done.
I hope I win here, but I don't think I am. Let's see. Nope. I screwed that up. I would have had to kill something. So there probably was a way to win there. I'm just not paying enough attention. Trying to burn through the news, and there's just so much. Yeah, at this point, let's break up this recording. I need to make a third recording. We burned through the Americas and European account on Hearthstone pretty nicely, but we need to defeat 3 monster hunt bosses. Theoretically I could leave one of these where they are, but I need to get something done, and also I have just an incredible amount of news still to cover. So that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And I'd like you to support me either through Patreon or friending me on Steam and gifting me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.